Everyone was thrilled when Lady Diana Spencer married Prince Charles in 1981. The dress was perfect, the ring was unforgettable, and the couple was so sweet. Everyone couldn't get enough of the romance, and that's why you've most likely seen over 1 million photos from that day. Still, there are some lesser seen photos that deserve their moment. Prepare yourself for some rare photos of Princess Diana's wedding to Prince Charles. The engagement ring was the ring of the century. Yes, that's the same sapphire sparkle that Kate Middleton now wears. The ring made its debut when Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer announced their engagement on the grounds outside of Buckingham Palace. Here, Prince Charles and Diana posed with Queen Elizabeth II at Buckingham Palace after she gave her consent for their wedding. Diana and Charles are seen leaving St. Paul's Cathedral for their first wedding rehearsal on 12th June 1981. This was 47 days before the big day. Of course, if you're getting married in front of the whole world, you'll want to do lots of practice too. Diana is seen leaving Emmanuel's after the final fitting for her wedding dress a week before the big day. Husband and wife designers David and Elizabeth Emmanuel were tapped to design Lady Diana's dreamy taffeta gown. The designs were kept secret until the day of the ceremony, when the press was given a sketch of what they had seen on the steps of St. Paul's Cathedral. This time, Diana and Charles leave the church only 2 days before their wedding. This is so appropriate. The crowds camped out along the procession route the night before the wedding to ensure a good view. A fireworks display took place over London on the eve of Charles and Diana's wedding on 28th July 1981. On their wedding day, celebrations were seen throughout the United Kingdom. In Wales, the Royal Air Force performed a formation of the Prince of Wales feathers over Caernarfon Castle. Remember those campers? They lined the streets with British flags and decorations, hoping to get a glimpse of the couple upon their arrival. The campers also relayed messages of support for the royal couple along the procession route. Press from every nation, including the United States, set up outposts to live broadcast the event. Here, Today hosts Willard Scott, John Pauli, and Tom Brokaw enjoy a spot of tea before the ceremony. Seriously? Can you imagine driving past all of this before your wedding? Two of the most stylish royals, Princess Anne and Princess Margaret, arrived first and did not disappoint. Those colors, damn, those coordinating fascinators. Princess Diana's bridesmaids were treated like royalty. Of course, some of them were royalty. Here, they are seen arriving in a gold carriage. The day's festivities drew some of the most important royals from all over the world, including Princess of Monaco, Grace Kelly. How chic is she? US First Lady Nancy Reagan wore a blush outfit to the nuptials. Prince Charles waves to the excited crowds along the processional. This is an appropriate response to the many people who had camped out ahead of his wedding. There are a few moments more anticipated by the public than this one. Here, Princess Diana arrives at St. Paul's Cathedral and everyone finally got to see her dress. How Diana managed to fit all that taffeta into that carriage, only she knows. When the bride stepped out of the carriage, she revealed a 25-foot-long train and veil. This was absolutely breathtaking. Prince Charles patiently waits for Diana to arrive while flanked by his two groomsmen, brothers Prince Andrew and Prince Edward. Diana and her father make their way to the altar. Take a close look at Spencer's tiara. Yes, she wore her own family jewels for her big day. The pews were packed with more than 3,500 guests. Here, you can see Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher to Diana's right. St. Paul's Cathedral made for a stunning venue for the ceremony. Every bride wants to impress their mother-in-law, but when your mother-in-law also happens to be the queen, it's customary for you to give a curtsy upon seeing her. Sarah Armstrong Jones, also known as Princess Margaret, and the Earl of Snowdon's daughter, was the chief bridesmaid. Princess Diana had a total of 5 bridesmaids. They were Clementine Hambro, Catherine Cameron, Sarah Jane Gassell, India Hicks, and Lady Sarah Armstrong Jones. Sarah was even trusted with holding Diana's bouquet. Diana let her nerves show when she accidentally mixed up Princess Charles' full name, referring to him as Philip Charles Arthur George rather than Charles Philip Arthur George. The couple share a private moment during the ceremony. What do you think they were talking about? The couple looked beyond regal as they made their way down the aisle after saying, "I do." Sure, you have seen this shot before, but have you ever noticed the mountains of flowers displayed at the entrance of the church? I didn't think so. As is traditional, the Queen led the charge for departing guests. Charles and Diana were greeted by more than 60,000 well-wishers as they made their way from St. Paul's Cathedral to Buckingham Palace. The couple's carriage drove along Fleet Street on their way to Buckingham Palace. Police were out in full force to manage the massive crowds along the procession route. Prince Charles and Princess Diana's signatures, along with those of their family as witnesses, make this thing official. The couple had their reception at Charles' home, which just happens to be Buckingham Palace. The Queen was one of the first to arrive. The newlyweds also arrived at the private entrance of Buckingham Palace for their reception. The wedding party is in tow. Here is a very important task for the bridesmaid. The Queen and her new daughter-in-law share a laugh while on the balcony of Buckingham Palace. Charles and Diana appear rather bashful on the balcony, where it's customary to share a kiss. The couple eventually gave the people what they wanted. Remember cramming into your high school club photo? This was a lot like that, except instead of a bunch of ultimate frisbee kids, it's a giant group of all of Europe's royal families. When you have to feed thousands of guests at your reception, one cake will not do. So the couple had 27, but the official cake was a multi-tiered fruit cake made by the head baker at the Royal Naval Cookery School. Keeping up with tradition, Diana's bouquet was laid upon the tomb of the unknown warrior grave in Westminster Abbey. The princess bouquet, made up of white orchids, freesias, gardenias, and lily-of-the-valley flowers, weighed around 2 kilos. That's over 4 pounds, and it was nearly 42 inches. After the wedding of the century, Charles and Diana made their way through the crowds once more, this time to embark on their honeymoon. The newlyweds' carriage was decorated with a "Just Married" sign, as well as mylar balloons with the Prince of Wales feathered on them. In a glamorous exit, the couple departed from Waterloo Station by train. They spent their first nights as a married couple in the Broadlands, the same place Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth spent their wedding night. Where does a royal couple go for honeymoon? On the royal yacht, of course. After the Broadlands, Charles and Diana set sail from Gibraltar to travel around the Mediterranean. The couple arrived in Scotland for the final leg of their honeymoon, looking quite sun-kissed. The couple welcomed photographers to Balmoral, the Queen's estate in Scotland, for a photo call at the end of their trip, and officially closed the royal wedding extravaganza. That's it, folks. Those are 51 of the most rare photos that were taken during Diana's wedding to Prince Charles in 1981.